On the issue of the Dubois Center,
yeah,
the minister's statement is categorical.
Nothing is on the table.
Yes.
And so
it says, no, let me read it. It says that the land occupied by the Bois Center was acquired in 1897. Title dated 20th December 1897 for government purposes. The site is currently being occupied by the Bois Center, and the Lands Commission and Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has no pending application for the grant of this parcel of land to any third party. For the avoidance of doubt, the land occupied by the Dubois Center, the subject matter of the Member of Parliament's allegations, has neither been sold nor leased to any private entity. From the foregoing, it is clear that the lands, the subject matter of the Member of Parliament's allegations, were not sold or leased under a current administration order. Now, in making the specific allegation of the Dubois Center, the Honourable Member of Parliament speaks to a document, an agreement, signed by two cabinet ministers, the foreign minister, and obviously the Dubois Center is under the foreign ministry, right?
I'm not too sure.
Dubois Center?
I am not too sure.
I think it's under the foreign ministry.
I'm saying this because when I was in Parliament, I was a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. There are some agencies like the Kofi Annan Center and the Accra International Conference Center, which were under the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, but I never heard of
So there's an agreement that he speaks to, which he says that is signed by the Attorney General, a Minister for Justice, and then a Foreign Minister. That was what a Member of Parliament put out. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
The Member of Parliament even alludes to an invitation to the President to come and cut a sword, and a response by the President's office to that particular foundation. And in fact, he has released copies of the foundation, its setup, who the directors are, what they do, and all that. Now, shouldn't we be told whether indeed two cabinet ministers have signed an agreement to lease the Dubois Center for 50 years? And on top of that, we also see, as has been shown, that David J. and Associates have actually published on their site the fact that they have redesigned the W.E.B. Dubois Museum Complex. Technical info. You will see those details where they now tell you that the memorial site and compound will function as a campus of remembrance, reflection, and learning that speaks to the life and legacy of Dubois and all that. Ajayi and Associates redesign of the center aims to provide a world-class destination for academics, blah, 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 blah. Shouldn't government be responding to all of this?
Oh, nice and good. The minister has put out information that at this material time, per the provisions of this constitution, he is the guy, he is the man. These things will have to go through his desk, for these allegations. And policy directions to the Lands Commission. And he is saying that at this material moment, there is nothing on his desk.
Chief.
So we should just...
Was the minister responding to allegations against the government or against him and his ministry?
You see?
That's the point.
I will still go back to the constitution.
In fact, he ends by saying that from the foregoing, it's clear that the lands, the subject matter of the Member of Parliament's allegations, were not sold and or leased under the current administration, and the allegations of state capture are therefore false.
And explicitly, all the lands that
the Honourable Member of Parliament,
the Bois land,
the Honourable Member of Parliament, is saying that there's an agreement of a 50-year lease, which is signed for Dubois Center, which is signed by, he claims is signed by two cabinet ministers, the Attorney General and the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
So my point is that,
what's government's response to it? David Ajay has told us that he's redesigned the place.
My point is that Article 2582 gives the minister the right to give Lands Commission a policy direction. What a president, because in fact everything is vested in the president. And the minister is saying that per his press release yesterday, that this particular Dubois Center has not come to his desk. So for what the Honourable Member of Parliament is putting out He's unable to react to it. Now that there's information contrary to it, let's give the minister the opportunity.
No, this information, the MP made it available earlier.
Oh, the MP had made it
yes.
That I'm not privy to.
Okay.
But the minister stated his stance.
All right.
Let us give him the opportunity based on the new information.
This is the document. That's the document.
Which of the documents is that?
The Dubois one. That's the one scrolling there.
The agreement, the lease agreement.
Yes.
Signed by the AG and the foreign minister.
Yes, that's the agreement.
But the lands minister.
Tourism, Arts and Culture. I always thought it would be under Ministry of Tourism and Arts and Culture. Yeah. So the agreement is between the two of them. Randy, you see, no matter what you think or say about Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, you cannot dismiss his consistency and his diligence. He's a diligent, consistent member of parliament. And he deserves tons and tons of commendation for the very difficult task that he has, taken up when it comes to holding government to account for the infractions that cost money, infractions that cost life, and indeed, infractions that threaten the very survival of our democracy. The very survival of our democracy. And so, it doesn't matter what you think of him or say about him. I think that we all must commend him for daring to stand up and to raise the very, very important questions of, accountability and use of public resources. Randy, I've gone through the minister's response. And having dealt with the minister on a number of issues as then deputy ranking member of the Lands and Forestry Committee.
Now chairman. Oh, ranking.
Now ranking, yes. I, Randy, think that the minister has two very critical problems in your engagements with him that will show. One, he considers every criticism of his ministry as a personal criticism, and so he responds with a partisan approach.
Let's not get...
Please, I beg you, when you were talking, I didn't interrupt you, so let's respect that.
Right,
I beg
okay.
you. Those are my views.
That's fine.
He considers every criticism of him and his... every criticism... he takes it personal, and he gives a partisan response. I'm saying that, clearly speaking, I think that this bias to consider every criticism as personal and then to respond in a partisan manner reflected in his responses. So he was trying to equate, to find equalization. And that has been his rhetoric. When you ask about accountability on how this government is dealing with lands, the rhetoric is always that, hey, if we go into it, your people will be embarrassed. So what? We are talking about the need for us to judiciously use the resources that are vested in the president by our constitution. It doesn't matter if it was wrong in the past. It must be condemned, it must be exposed and condemned, and it must be corrected. You cannot use past mistakes, if there are any, because I don't even believe there are any, to justify your current mistakes. Why then did you take over power? So you find the minister in the response attempting to say that some of the leases with the lands in question, started before this administration. And even that he gets it wrong.
Exactly 9 days ago, 9 days ago, on the 8th of July 2024, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture wrote to the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum Foundation. This letter was signed by John Yao Agbeko, Chief Director for Minister. Attention Executive Director Mr. Jafet Ayiku says, following the successful execution of the agreement between the government of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum Foundation, Ghana, the incorporation of the Special Purpose Vehicle for the finance and management of the E.B. Du Bois Center in Accra and the partial fulfillment of the conditions precedent to effectiveness of the agreement, we wish to request the WB Du Bois Foundation Ghana to furnish the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture with further documentation to facilitate our decision to timely hand over the assets to you. To timely hand over the asset to you. It would be appreciated if you could address the evidence of adequate funds to pay the salaries of the staff of MFGH. So MFGH will be what? Okay. That's the Museum Foundation Ghana. WBDBR Museum Foundation, MFGH. For the construction period, as well as to undertake the refurbishment of the new entity as per the agreement, see clauses 417 and 7213. You are therefore kindly requested to show availability of funds in an account open in Ghana with an amount of $13 million as provided by the agreement. You are also expected to submit to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture a performance bond issued by an internationally recognized bank in the amount of 15% of the total project cost, without which we are unable to hand over the site to you.
Randy.
You see, so
Randy,
let me conclude so you can come in. Let me conclude. So
then let me just read this. This is from the Office of the President. It's dated 6th of May 2024. It's signed by Nana Bideto Asante, Secretary to the President, and it's to Mr. Daniel Rose, Chairman of the Board, WB Du Bois Museum Foundation, Accra. Request for President Nanado to cut sword on 27th August 2024. With reference to your correspondence dated 22nd April 2024, bearing on the above subject matter, I write to inform you that the President of the Republic will be available to participate in the sword cutting ceremony for the renovation of the Du Bois bungalow on Tuesday, 27th August 2024. In the light of the above, it will be appreciated if a program outline of activities could be forwarded to the Office of the President for consideration. Please accept the President's best wishes.
There was an operational work in the renovation of what?
The bungalow.
So Randy.
Renovation of bungalow.
Yes.
Randy.
And is that same captured in the lease agreement signed by the Attorney General and the Foreign Minister?
It's not a bungalow. Yeah, even you refer to, go and look at David Ajay's document. In fact, what sits there?
My point.
What sits there? What sits on the land?
Yeah.
What is sitting on the land is a bungalow.
It's a bungalow.
Yes,
it's a bungalow.
It's referred to as a
and
bungalow.
And the reference from the Secretary of the President is to. I mean, I don't have the document. You have.
So the President will go and commission the sword cutting of the renovation of a bungalow.
Not essentially. It is about
so the
museum and its new focus.
David Ajay associates are telling us.
And its new focus.
Please.
It's the relevant and operative thing that we want to do.
He knows what he's doing. He's deliberately trying to detract from the importance of this conversation.
But it's new information that we are getting. I don't have access to that document.
The minister must come again. His explanations do not, answer all the questions that have been asked and continue to be asked. In the case of the Du Bois, this thing like you have just said, I mean, you cannot tell us that it is vested in the president, and you are responsible for acting on behalf of the president.
In fact,
and you don't
to go by that, what you're saying is that the ministers and public officials who are engaged in this are engaged in an illegality. And the president of the republic has agreed to go and cut the sword for an illegality.
That is why I sought clarity.
This state capture is nationwide.
That is why I sought clarity.
It's not just, it's nationwide. Look, as we speak, like I was telling you about the pending question involving the sale of the timber market in Tamale. It is the same in Laura, in Upper West, in Upper East, across the country.
That is why I sought clarity.
I've just been told that the GS office in Laura
that is what is going to happen.
Is currently occupied by a politically exposed person. It has been hijacked.
Oh.
Yes, as we speak.
Oh.
The GS office in Laura, who is occupying it?
You want us to start enumerating those things?
Oh. I mean, that state capture that this government is engaged in has to be checked and stopped at all costs.
All right,
the minister
has
been consistent. And for me, I welcome all those new information. And I'm hoping in the next couple of days we'll get some more further and better particulars about some of these issues. Rather than it's quite a lot of information to digest and on live TV. So, Randy, I'll be happy that we get copies of those documents and we'll continue the discussions to actually know where the truth is. For me, having read the statement of the minister, I think it's been consistent with the provisions of the Constitution.
All right.